And a three, two, one. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is I, Brent. Glad to be with you this morning, checking in who is watching, who is on the air. We have a great show this morning. And I actually want to give a shout out and a thank you to Joyce Swinson, because Joyce, your response from last week really resonated with me. I loved when you said, Brent, I really thought through starting with the end in mind. So I want to share with you that you, my dear, are the reason for this broadcast, for the name of the broadcast. The information, yeah, I had that. However, you nailed it by sharing the name. So this one is for Joyce Swinson, and I thank you. The end in mind. What are we saying when we say the end in mind? Well, I'll tell you what, when I think back to what caused this broadcast to come about, it was the end in mind. It was, where do we want to be at the end of a certain process? And in this case, the end is not really the end. The end is a stop point, and then we go from there. So the end was to get to a destination called wealth, whatever your definition of wealth is. And then from that ending point, it's actually a wall, because now you go to the next place. And it's progressive. So what we're doing is we're building the block. So we may stop here for ourselves personally for whatever reason. However, because we have taught our children, they pick up from this wall and they move the ball along, and they move the ball along. And that creates legacy. So starting with the end in mind, here is the end. Whatever it is that you expect to do, wherever you set the end for the next one to pick up the bucket of water and carry it to the next one, so that what happens is the legacy becomes a reality. But starting with the end in mind, more often than not, people start at this point, at the beginning, or they start at the definition of beginning. And at that point, they move forward, wherever forward takes them. However, let's say you want to purchase the home. You want to start a business. You're creating that legacy. What is it going to cost? What is it going to cost? That's the end. The end in mind is that result. So the house. Here's the house. The house costs $500,000. Then we work our way back into what action needs to be taken to get to that end result. Then we move the marker. So we hit that point. So then we have another location to go to. And it's not that we do not stop. That's not true. What it means is, at some point, because we've done the work, because we've shared it, because we've helped our children, we've helped our family see this point, we say, then who is going to pick up? Who are we delegating the ball to deliver to the next location? Because we are forever in a state of growth. We're forever in a state of transforming. When we are not, then we need to check and go, okay, what happened? You do not know, so I'll share it with you now. I journal. I journal the journey. When days go by and I haven't written something in the journal, then it becomes an assessment tool. How come I haven't? What's going on that's causing me to stop? And I'm assessing it. And so I say to you, it has been 3+ years of this journey. So where are you? The end in mind was legacy. Now, you may have established different elements that you are now going to pass on that are part of the legacy, that we're going to call that. We're going to put a term to it. So whatever that destination is, whether it's I'm leaving the house because that's the legacy, whether it is I'm leaving the artwork because that's the legacy, whatever you are doing, it's got to be with the end in mind. If the end in mind is to be able to leave a legacy, then define it so that you know you got there. You know, what is that old adage? Any road will take you there if you do not know where you're going. So where are we going? 3+ years. I will tell you, this year, I got to know where some people are going because houses were purchased. And I will tell you, I have seen some individuals, in particular, probably one that thrills me tremendously is Angie Marcello. Her and her husband bought a home for their children and them this year. Legacy. And I got to be a personal part of that journey. And that is the legacy of this broadcast, that it did happen. May not have been the 100,000 that I was hoping for. However, something happened. Yeah, people took action and they did what we said. That's their legacy. What's your legacy? That's what's important. What is your legacy? And are we, words matter. Language matters. Some people say my will, and they put things in their will. I'm going to share with you that maybe the expression is my legacy. This is my legacy. Define it. And then at what point do you know that you've hit legacy? Now, legacy can be revised, but it's got to start someplace. The end in mind. See, when I think about the house, then, or the cost of the house, how much did it cost to purchase or is it going to cost to purchase the house? So the house is $500,000. Okay, so how much loan can I get? Is the question I'm going to ask you to think. I'm going to suggest you think about how much is it going to cost? How much money? How much down payment am I going to need? I do not need the whole 500,000, but how much do I need? 5%. How much is 5%? Over what period of time? What length of time am I giving myself? I want it done in 3 years. So now I've got 5% of $500,000 that has to be delivered in 3 years. So how much is that per year? Now, how am I going to make that happen? How much of my check am I going to devote to the legacy? See, so the end in mind is that $500,000. The end in mind is the down payment. The end in mind is the process. If we do not know the process to start, the likelihood is the destination, one or two things is going to happen. I may get to the destination, but it's going to take a lot longer. Or I may go down a number of different roads that just don't make any sense getting to that destination. As one would say, I'm just saying. With that thought in mind, that's what we're going to continue to discuss this morning, is the destination, is the end in mind. So what exactly is your end in mind? I want you to be thinking about that while I share with you the announcements and the shout outs and who's watching this morning. So I'm going to start with who's watching this morning and say, good morning, Nelly Rosario. It is great to see you. Thank you for following me on Instagram, Facebook. Yes, I saw those likes and I appreciate it tremendously. Sharon Nix, thank Thank you so much. You are incredibly consistent, and I appreciate you. And Miss Charity Everett, I want to share with you that if you have been looking in the feed recently, you saw our great inventor, a woman, Charity Everett, who has Go Fetch It, which is outstanding. Take a look in the feed. In fact, Charity, you should list that. Go ahead in the feed right now and put yourself in there so folks can see you. Good morning, Virginia. How are you this morning? Joyce Swinson, and Joyce DeVore. Good morning. It is terrific to have you. So just go ahead and put that in the feed, Charity. We want to be able to show everyone what you've got. Also, I want to give shout outs and thank yous again. Joyce Swinson, Barrett Matthews, of course, Nella Rosario. I got a chance to talk to Rabi Abukar this past week. It was terrific. Finally, after 2 years of us going back and forth trying to connect with Nigeria, it happened. It was terrific. And guess what? She and I are going to do something internationally. I'm just saying, amazing. It has happened here. So I will share with you the legacy that I personally have gotten is all of you. That has been outstanding. Britt Johnson, good morning. Britt Johnson from Boss Lady News. I will be on her show on the 29th. So there you go. I will be with her. So just letting you know that, folks, I appreciate you. Everybody, I appreciate you tremendously. You have lifted the boats. That's shout outs. Announcements. A couple of notes. On the 14th, December 14th, 6 p.m., hosted by Britt Johnson of Boss Lady News, will be a professional development photo shoot. If you are visiting Boston, if you are in the area, guess what? You will get a complimentary headshot to take into 2019. She is going to have a professional photographer there who is going to be taking shots. I will be there speaking, and you will have to just come to the event to find out what I'll be talking about. And I am thrilled. So that's happening on December 14th at 6 p.m. Professional development photo shoot. You will get a complimentary photo. She's going to have makeup people there, but you know what I always say, make sure you know exactly how you want to look. If you already have a makeup artist, have them take care of you. If you do not, she's going to have one there so that you have an amazing photo shoot. Also, on the 19th, December 19th at 6 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody said, well, Brent, where's it going to be at? Thank you for reminding me. It is going to be at the UCB building, which is Union Capital Boston building. That is going to be at 1544 Columbus Avenue in Roxbury. It is part of the Urban Edge complex. So you have 1542 is Urban Edge, 1544 is the UCB building. All you have to do is go right in. And by the way, the entry is actually to the parking lot to Ritchie Street. So there is parking there, 6 p.m. And guess what? Whether you are in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, you are invited. And just go right ahead and be ready to have that shot. Shannon, good morning. As Shannon Griffin wanted to say good morning to her as well. I am so invigorated. Now, for the second announcement. Now, fellas, okay, I know you're going to say, why is it only ladies only? Because every now and then it's ladies only. Sometimes we need to get together and talk. That's going to be happening on the 19th of December, December 19th, 6 p.m., Small Biz Buffet. It is invitation only. If you would like an invitation, you need to text me 617-438-7949 so that I can give you the code word to get an invite. It is a women's only private event, and that's happening on December 19th. So 2 dates to put on your calendar. So guess what? 2018 ain't over yet. December 14th, 6 p.m., UCB building, photo shoot, professional development photo shoot, and the 19th of December, 6 p.m., it's the Small Biz Buffet, and it is invitation only. It's a woman's event. With that being said, good morning, Pamela Stone, famed for her Talking with Pamela. Pamela, please put your information in the feed so that folks can watch your broadcast. Okay, with that being said, part 2 is about planning it out. Again, it's the end in mind. So here's what we've talked about this before. However, I'm going to ask you to think about it from 2019 and beyond. I'm asking you to think about it from the modality of lifestyle and what the plan is. Now we're going to take a 5-year window. Not you are going to do it personally, you and your family. But we're now going to take a 5-year window. So 2019 is the beginning of the first wall, the first block of time. We started and we took a block of time. So now we're putting a benchmark in it and we are defining it. We are narrowing the focus. In narrowing the focus, what you are going to do is there's going to be a sheet of paper. I know a lot of us say, oh, well, Brent, I can put it in my phone. No, I want you to get the sheet of paper, just like I have here. See, well, for your broadcast, I want you to get the sheet of paper. You know why? Because there is a brain connection, the hand to the paper. What happens is you see things twice. So I want you to do that. You are going to write out your legacy. What is it going to include? And it's going to be an inventory of what will get passed on to the next generation. Whatever it is, it does not matter how small. If it's down to the jewelry, stop and think about it. There was a time when diamonds really were the most prolific, that was where the money was at. Yes? Guess what? It's not anymore. You know where the money is at? The money is in the gold. The money is in the platinum. I will tell you that a ring, my mom and I talked about a ring that she purchased that was $250. That was 20 years ago. It is now valued at over $1,000. You know what? The stones, they don't care. In fact, jurors will open up a drawer and they'll show you all the stones. It's the gold. It's the platinum. That's where the money is at. So that is a valuable piece of legacy item for you. We're going to start with the end in mind. What is the basis of all wealth? It ain't cash. So what is it? Somebody put it in the feed. We're going to do, that's a test. What is the basis of wealth? Somebody put that in the feed because that's the destination. From that one item, it can be leveraged and leveraged and leveraged. That is the antithesis of where we've been going for the past 3 years. So now is a new day. 2019 is a restart. Everything that we did up till now, that is called dress rehearsal. Now it is showtime. Are you ready to show up? That's your charge. Are you ready to show up? So right now is the time. You've got 2 weeks to plan out 5 years. The challenge is, can you do it? 2 weeks to plan out 5 years. And I'll tell you, you want to know the simplest way? Get a pad of paper. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Each year should be able to be written out on one sheet of paper. Now, you can have addendums. So, for example, you need to list out all of the, you need to list out everything that is going to be part of the legacy. And so that might be exhibit A. And then you move on. So you may have exhibits that support it, but this is the concept doc right there. It's the one pager that tells the story, almost like a TED Talk. Almost like a TED Talk. And the beauty is you want to be able to say it to yourself. You want to be able to stand in front of a room and treat it as a presentation. This is my legacy. I am Sharon Nix. This is my legacy to my family. I am Shannon Griffin. This is my legacy to my family. I am Charity Everett. I have produced the Go Back Fetch It. And guess what? This is my legacy. Nellie Rosario, family woman. This is my legacy. So what is the legacy that you are leaving? Now, notice I want to share something with you. Legacy equals lifestyle. Legacy equals lifestyle. Your charge right now, I'm going to submit to you, your charge right now is to protect the legacy, is to structure the legacy so that all the work that you've done does not go asunder. So what does that mean, Brent? What that means is legacy is lifestyle. So you get to live your lifestyle in the legacy and to pass it on. However, we need to protect the legacy. Because I will tell you, most recently, I have heard far too often about family, about mothers, fathers, parents, packaging it up, leaving it, and it's lost. And most recently, in fact, I was talking to Bob Nichols from Boston Trust Realty Group. And Bob said how difficult it was to watch a mother who left this property for her children, and now it has to be sold because they didn't pay the taxes, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't do the other. Why did that happen? Could she have put protections in to make it work? The answer is yes, she could have, but she didn't know. So I want to give you a resource to take a look at. There is a woman that actually runs not only a blog, but she also talks about investing now. As we all know, Brent is an entrepreneur. Brent runs, oh, wait a second, did you see it? T-shirt, what does it say? It says Brent S. Hart & Co. Oh, my shirt, I have them now. I am so thrilled. So I just had to put, because I wanted you to see that. Yes. I'm not an investment broker. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a tax consultant. I am an entrepreneur who has been the up and down, upside, downside, upside, downside. One of the reasons why I share and I instruct, I train, I teach, is so that it gets into my head as well. So that it gets in here, so that I remember to share that information. Now, when you share it, I want you to do this. I want you to think about what protections you put around it so that what happened to her does not happen to you. That home was in her family for 5 generations. And it's gone. Not only is it gone, there was nothing out of it because the taxes and the like absorbed it. That's painful. So here's the deal. I want you to take in and understand that you need to lay out the plan. 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. 2020 is a pivotal time frame around the world, from celebrations to shakeups. It's a very poignant year. I know that I sound really heavy today, and I want to sound that way, to move us to take action. Because truly, when I get off the broadcast today, I got my papers ready to crank that out. 2 weeks to create outstanding. Now, with that being said, if you need some help with that, if you need some help with content, with thinking about how, what, where, when, why, you can go up to the Brent S. Harding YouTube channel. There are at least 77 videos. I started categorizing them. So you've got a credit video, you've got an insurance section. There are a plethora of topics. If you do not know, then guess what? All you have to do is go up to the YouTube channel, become a subscriber, listen to the broadcast, because you've been listening all this time. So you can test out that content. If you are looking to invest right now, there is a blog and there is a website called The Color of Money. An incredible woman is talking and she's sharing information. She is the investment person. I am the entrepreneur. I can share my experience. I can be, for the purposes of wealth building, I will be your mentor. Share the experience. When you need a wealth coach, it's a different story. Go on up to The Color. That's my resource for today, The Color of Money. Go up and check it out. Okay, with that being said, what did we talk about today? We talked about, thanks to Joyce Swenson, the title, Start with the End in Mind. Here you are, there's the end. Start there instead of here, so that you will know when you've gotten there. You will know the benchmark and you will put a timetable on it. We are saying 3 years. You saw me say 5, but we're going to focus in on the first 3 years, 2019, 2020, 2021. We know many things. In fact, you can Google 2020, what's happening in 2020, because there are celebrations, there are acknowledgments, there are things that are happening around events, activities, mindsets that are happening around the world in 2020. So start with the end in mind. Plan out what you want your legacy and your lifestyle to look like. Legacy equals lifestyle. When we're clear about the legacy, we know what we have to do to get the lifestyle to be able to leave it. Live in that legacy. Live in the green and structure it so that it gets passed on. That's what this has been about today, starting with the end in mind. Announcements and acknowledgments and shout outs. Want to give one more round of shout outs. Joyce Swenson. I want to give Barrett Matthews. Barrett was one of the first hosts with me when I started this journey. So I want to thank him very much for posting on the Wealth Warrior site. Nelly Rosario, Robbie Abukar, who I'm going to be doing something with in even between 2019 and 2020. I'm so excited. Jackie Burgess, Trinidad is on the map for international. Britt Johnson, thank you so much. I will be seeing you on the 14th and the 29th. So Sharon Nix, Shannon Griffin, and of course, Pamela Stone, who was the second and the longest, stayed the longest with me as a host and spun off her own show, and I am thrilled. Announcements. The 14th of this month, that's just next week, you can get a complimentary headshot. The one that you put on your business card, the one that you put on Facebook, that you have not only Facebook, that on all of your social media, that is consistent, that is a consistent component of who you are, that you get to define who you are, and that headshot gets to stay there and make sure people know that you are in control of your social media. That's happening on the 14th, 6 p.m. It's called Professional Development Photo Shoot. It is being hosted by Britt Johnson of Boss Lady News, and Brent Harding from Brent S. Harding Co. will be a guest speaker at that evening. Then on the 19th, women only. This is a women only conversation. It's being hosted by Ruggiera Toussaint from Urban Niche. It is the Small Biz Buffet, and it's happening at 6 p.m. You will have to text me 617-438-7949 so that I can give you the code so that you can be invited. It is an invitation only event. With that being said, resource, I want you to check out The Color of Money. That is a resource around investing. Now, with that being said, I want to make sure that I share with you that you will want to go up on the Wealth War, you will want to go up on the Brent S. Harding Facebook. I'm having a triple here today. Brent S. Harding YouTube channel. You want to go up on the YouTube channel. I've got a library of at least 70 plus videos for you to watch on virtually every topic that you could think about that is related to wealth. And I have an announcement. December 2018 is going to be the closeout of the Wealth Warrior broadcast. This month, it's going to be a wrap. And I want to thank every one of you for being with me on this amazing journey. I am going to be on YouTube. You will be able to find me on YouTube. I will do some live broadcasting on YouTube. However, you've seen the scenery back here long enough. I'm going to be out and about, and I'm going to be broadcasting, and I'm going to be putting it up on the YouTube channel. I'm going to hit various topics of conversation, things that I wanted to talk about that are other than wealth, professional development, personal development, why we want to do something versus not doing something. But I'm going to expand into lifestyle. And I'm going to figure it out along the way, and I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need you to say, nah, Brent, that wasn't it. Or, yeah, tell me more about that. So this will be the last month. I will be closing it out with some fun. And I will then be bringing you into different locations. So I'm going to ask you to support me as you have in the past. I am thanking you immensely for making this an amazing journey. It has been 3+ years. And I'll tell you truly, I have talked about everything wealth related that I can think of. So with that being said, I want to share with you that we have 2 more shows. I hope that I'll see many of you on the 14th. And ladies that want to come, I will see you on the 19th, along with Ruggiero Toussaint. And I'm going to ask you to mark your calendars 2019, April. Mark the last 2 Friday and Saturdays. We are looking for the location, and I should be announcing very shortly, but you will get more details about the Brent Working event that's happening in April and the launch event that's happening in April. With that being said, I want to share with you, love you tremendously. I will see you next week. It will be a wrap at the end of December, and it's been my pleasure. Take care. Go out today and be extraordinary. Don't come back unless you have it. Bye now.